Alright, first off, I just want to say that this video is my opinion. This is not medical, scientific, or legal advice. I don't generally keep up with the news outside of Twitter, maybe. Some alternative news sources. With all the coronavirus stuff going on, I've been flipping back and forth between music channels and the local news station here in Orlando. And it kind of struck me powerfully just how inept the previous generation and even current generations of people are. There isn't a self-reliant bone in a lot of their bodies. And I'm talking about the boomers, I'm talking about the greatest generation, whatever came before that. A lot of the millennials. I don't know if it's just my perception and because I'm Gen X that it seems like Gen X are the only people who are out, doing stuff and making stuff happen. I'm listening to this radio station and God, these freaking baby boomers, they don't know what to do. They're asking questions like, I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Should I call them? What do you mean? You have an appointment on Thursday. Why should somebody have to make a decision whether you should call them? Why would you call them? Like, wouldn't they call you? If you have an appointment on Thursday, all you have to do is show up. Yeah, another one, somebody I know works for a political figure and gets a lot of calls from people, wanting the government to do this or that or has an issue. Retirement community, baby boomers, whatever. And I'm not trying to single them out, but God, they're a dumb bunch. I mean, for the most part. She calls, she's like, the local bowling alley is having unlimited bowling night. What should I do? Because of coronavirus. The guy was like, well, if you're concerned, maybe you shouldn't go. Well, I mean, yeah, I know I could do that, but I mean, what if I want to go? What should I do? Are you serious? Wash your hands. Don't shake hands. Don't make out with everybody in the village. I mean, I don't know if you've heard about the villages. It's like the STD capital of the world, and it's a retirement community. Apparently, they can't keep their hands off each other up there. But, the ineptitude is just off the chart. And that's, in my opinion, that's why this is all going on. The news, the government, the powers that be who like panic and never let a good crisis go to waste know that we're at a tipping point with morons in the world. There are more morons than there are people that can put two and two together and problem solve something and basically just let life go on in the midst of a crisis. And that's another thing. I don't think this is near the crisis that, people are making it out to be. I mean, they're just looking at the numbers. I mean, yeah, okay, so they're like, there's 3,000 cases in the U.S. and, 50 people have died or something like that. That's like, whatever. Well, during that same time, 2,000 people have died. Over 2,000 people have died from the common flu. And that's going around, but nobody's even talking about it. Tuberculosis kills 2,000 people a day. Nobody's talking about that. So what's the real pandemic? I mean, it's just like, and the other thing is, too, I mean, you look at a lot of these people who are announcing they have it, this Idris Elba and Tom Hanks and whatever, these people have no symptoms. They feel great. They have no symptoms. Yet somehow they got tested and they tested positive. So that tells me that there are probably, if this thing is as contagious as people, as the media is making it out to be, there's probably millions and millions and millions of people, if not tens of millions of people, that have coronavirus and don't even know it. They might feel a little bit off. They might not have any symptoms at all. They might be like Idris Elba. I feel great. I have no symptoms. They don't even know they have it. So you factor those people into the numbers. Suddenly, 2,000 people dead globally or whatever from coronavirus doesn't seem that high. It's like not even barely, it doesn't even register. It's a media-driven panic. I'm not saying it's a hoax. It's a real thing. And if you're immunocompromised, if you're a diabetic, if you're elderly, you should really, really be careful, because you're really at risk. It's a real risk for you. I don't think it's as high as what he's making it out to be, but it's a real risk for you. And anyone who comes into contact with those people, maybe has them in their home, works with them, whatever. Everybody needs to be careful, because you could be putting people's lives at risk. Those people who are at risk for this disease. It doesn't affect babies. I think the death rate for infants and young children is 0. In fact, anything basically below 50 is practically 0, unless you're immunocompromised and sick from something else. Big headline: 21-year-old soccer coach dies from coronavirus. You're like, oh my gosh, it's mutated. It's affecting young people. Oh, we're all gonna die. Well, you click on it. The guy was fighting leukemia. His immune system was completely depleted to begin with. So, you can't. I'm not saying you can't, but you're really at risk if you have some underlying health issue. But if you're healthy and below 70, the chances of you contracting this and having any serious complications is next to nothing, like infinitesimal, like a grain of sand on a beach. So, all this crazy stuff going on is media driven, and whatever, that's my opinion, but prove me wrong. Look at the numbers, look at the data, look at what's going on. Prove me wrong. The media is more concerned about, if we call it China virus or Wuhan virus or whatever, than they are, anything else. It just tells you it's a big media circus, and we're all suffering for it. The economy is what I'm more worried about than anything else. It's like, people are going to, not going to, people are really, really suffering right now because of all this bullshit that's going on with, with the media and the hypesters with this thing, and it needs to end. I'm hoping in the next week or 2 or a month or whatever, people realize that they've been had. You have been had with coronavirus. It's just a big, and the bad thing is, we've had something every election year. We have bird flu, we have SARS, we have, Ebola. Actually, we had Ebola twice, and it magically falls on an election year. But the good news is, we're going to have a pandemic every 2 years now. You watch, 2 years from now, during election season, there's going to magically be another pandemic. And it's going to be, some stupid, whatever that closely mimics, something else, but it's the next greatest thing that's going to kill everyone. And you're going to find out it doesn't kill hardly anyone. But this is what we have to look forward to, because now they know they can shut the economy down. They can make people stay home. They can let people out of prisons. They can do whatever's on their little laundry list of evil things to do. They know they can do it now because people are stupid and they fell for it. Thank you, boomers. Thank you, greatest generation. Thank you, millennials, for being such stupid dipshits to fall for this stuff and electing assholes to Congress and putting these people in power that this is what they love to do. It's like a big game of SimCity for them. Let's put a plague in here, that's not really a plague, but we'll have the media hype it up and see what happens. Oh my gosh, we just shut the globe down. How fun was that? Anyway, whatever. And the worst part of this morning is Starbucks must have left their A-team in quarantine because this dark roast tastes like Cracker Barrel coffee. So, anyway, whatever. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't let them freak you out.